Hey guys, welcome to a new video. You probably saw my last video, which was about 𝗘𝗏𝗦 and how I use it not only to inspire myself, but hopefully to inspire y'all as well, and you get to see different sales of different t-shirts. Today we're going to be specifically talking about the Merch Hunter and how to predict sales of certain products on Amazon. Now, you might be asking yourself, why am I even talking about this? Why does this matter? I don't have a Merch by Amazon account any longer. What does it matter? Well, the answer is Amazon is a economy on its own. It's a microeconomy, but it's an economy. And when I say a microeconomy, it's an economy that represents a portion of the world, a portion of the internet. And what happens is we can have certain predictors within Amazon. Now, of course, Amazon is somewhat biased, and the reason why is because they have their review system, and the review system, of course, although contributes to the ranking, it also can be manipulated. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but whether you're on Merch by Amazon, Kindle Direct Publishing, or even FBA, you can manipulate the reviews. It's 100% possible. But that's a whole different conversation for a different time. And, some people know about it, some people don't. But regardless, the point is that when you're working on different designs and you're creating different things, there are certain designs or certain concepts or certain things that contribute to a large amount of success. And when I made the earlier today's video talking about certain levels of success with print on demand, there are certain designs that are, I guess you could say, more successful than others. And the thing that measures that is the income. And first thing I want to do, before I even get deeper into this video, I just mentioned it was a video that we posted today, and today is July 1st, and it's important today to mention this, is that from today moving forward, for the rest of the month, I'm committing to uploading double uploads every single day. And I'm a big believer in challenging myself. I think this is going to be a challenge because I haven't done it in a very long time to do double upload, but I'm going to do it, right? And so double uploading, that means I'm going to end up doing, over, let's see here, 31 days in July. So I'm going to be ending up doing 62 videos this month. It's a lot of videos, but giving you guys different points of view, different thought processes may potentially impact you guys in a positive way. So let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of the video. First thing is how to calculate the average amount of sales. There's no mathematical formula for me. I don't have a mathematical formula that I set up. I simply use software tools. So here on 𝗘𝗏𝗦, the Merch Hunter, right, is a tool within 𝗘𝗏𝗦. By the way, I will leave a link in the description for 𝗘𝗏𝗦 along with a 20% off discount code that you guys could go ahead and use if you want to go ahead and use this for your niche research and all kinds of different things. But here you have a bestseller ranking that you can choose. And the bestseller ranking, let's just say for this product, for example, is at, let's say, 67,000 on average, okay? 67,443. Let's just say 67,000, okay? And here it says 56,000 that it's currently sitting at, and it's moved 603 positions due to the 38 sales of its moving sales. To predict this says here estimated 42 sales. When this software, 𝗘𝗏𝗦, was created, it was created by presenting an average amount of sales per month, right? But it doesn't say that anymore. It doesn't say monthly. We can ask support about this or message them or whatever, but we can also compare different results, right? So if here's the bestseller ranking, 42 estimated sales. Once again, it doesn't specify monthly or non-monthly. It could be daily. But like I said, when this software was created, it presented the amount of sales that the shirt generated monthly. That's when it was created back in the day. I think about 4 to 5 years ago, when this tool would present that data, it would present the data monthly. Okay, it doesn't say monthly anymore. It used to say monthly. Now, if we actually go here to a tool called Jungle Scout, now Jungle Scout is heavily used by people who do FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon, which I used to do Fulfilled by Amazon back in the day, and I was very successful at it. But the point here is if we take the product, right, let's just say it's in position number 67,443, and we paste it right here, and then let me actually go like that. United States of America market, clothing and jewelry, of course, because it's in the clothing niche, and we hit estimated sales. That's an estimated 450 sales per month, which if we do the mathematics on that, 450 sales divided by 30, because the average month has 30 days, that equals to 15 units per day. So there is a quite of a large discrepancy. Now, the discrepancy is not that important, and I'll tell you why, is that as sellers who sell on multiple different platforms, and I think you guys can agree, is that we don't want to be hyper focused on one platform, even though that might produce certain results. And when I say hyper-focused, I'm not talking about the effort. I'm simply talking about the fixations that we have mentally. Let me explain. If you sit here and say, oh, this design, it makes X amount, 42 sales, let's say, you're fixing your mind on this concept of 42 sales. But a different machine tells you a different result, 450 sales. So it's not that this could be daily or monthly. If it's monthly, that's a huge difference between 450 and 42. If it's daily, right, the 42 estimated sales, well, we could do the math on that. That's still a huge discrepancy. It's about 3 times more than the 450. If we do 42, right, times the 30 for the month, that's 1,260. That's a lot of units. Let's just say and this commission is a much lower. I think this commission would come out to maybe $2 something cent. In fact, I don't even want to guess here. If we go on Merch by Amazon profit margins. Let's go ahead and see here the royalties. Okay. The $17.99 is a $3.41 profit margin. All right, so a little bit more than I thought. I thought it was like 2 to something. All right, so if we do the math on that, let's say $3.40 times the number of units, which is 1,260, 1,250, 1,260, that's about $4,000 off of one shirt per month. Now, once again, this is a certain kind of shirt that regardless if it sells 450 units a month, or if it sells 1,200 units a month, or if it sells, let's say, 42 sales a month, it's at the peak of what it is, right? So regardless of the number, you could look at this design, you could say, okay, this design generates roughly a little bit more than 3 times more than this design. And part of this is what makes the difference between the winners and the people who win on an average level. I'm not going to say losers, because losers are not calculated in this equation. The people who win at a very, very high level versus the people who win at an average level. The guys and girls who are really high winner levels, they're going to look at this and they're going to say, okay, what makes it that this design somehow wins 3 times more than another design? These are my thought processes, guys. With every design that I'm creating, whether it be for my website, whether it be for the store, on Redbubble, on Zazzle, on whatever website, it doesn't matter. I'm always looking at what makes this 3 times more important from a sales aspect than the other. Sometimes the answer is much more simpler than I like to accept. Or not that I like to accept, because I accept reality. I'm not going to give myself a facade. But sometimes it's much more simpler than I would imagine. For example, maybe this design existed longer than its competitor. That could be one example, right? Another example could be maybe there's a lack of certain style of designs on Merch by Amazon, on Amazon.com, that happen to be more appealing to an audience. It could also be the pricing of the product. It could be many different things. The point is that you're not going to be able to figure out that data until you start comparing on a much larger base. And this is why tools like Merch Informer are useful, right? Because I can now, instead of sitting here on Amazon and comparing every single product and look at the data on Amazon, I can have the data populated for me and start comparing. And you might ask me, well, how does this benefit you if you're not a seller on Amazon? Well, it benefits me drastically because I can take certain concepts away and I can utilize it into my own business. So for example, right, let's just imagine in a perfect world, and by the way, to be able to compare two aspects, two outcomes, you have to have one variable. You cannot have more than one variable, right? So let's imagine for a second that both of these products were priced the same. Just for imagination purposes, right? If both of these products were priced the exact same, which they're not, but let's just say they were, the variable here could be the design, right? Now, there's more than one variable in this case, and to really come out as a intelligent individual, the best way you could do this is you could find a design on a much specific level of targeting. So, for example, this is an I need coffee shirt. So I would effectively type it in like this. I would type in I need coffee, right? And this is a perfect example. What I'm looking for in a scenario like this is two shirts with the exact same, I don't even know why these came up. They're related from a keyword perspective. I can write keyword here. Let's just go ahead and change this. Let's make it much more drastic. But what I can do is I can compare the two designs, assuming I decrease the number of variables, right? So anybody here who wants to be more successful in any business, it doesn't matter. You look at the two variables, or the two outcomes rather. So the two designs, and you say, why is one much more successful than the other? And you have to start canceling out the variables, right? So here, it's kind of impossible with these two designs. This is why I said imagine the price is the same. But let's count out what these variables are. Well, the price is a variable that does dictate sales. And so they're different. Therefore, it's not a variable. We can't compare the two. But once again, it depends on more than one variable. The design is a variable. The text is a variable. In some frame of thinking, the title is also a variable, and so is the merchant, right? The name, the actual text of the merchant is a variable. These are different things that contribute to the number of sales. Also, the behavior off screen is a variable. And what do I mean by that? Off this screen, people might be buying reviews. It's very possible. And it's also done. And I've done it personally, not through Merch by Amazon, through Kindle Direct Publishing, which is one of the reasons why I still have almost damn near a full-time income from Kindle Direct Publishing till today. And I haven't done over 7 years of work on that account. I haven't touched it in 7 years. The point here is, what I'm trying to say is when you're comparing the designs and you want to figure out what are these elements that make a design quote unquote winning, you have to be able to take the two designs, compare them, but minimize it to one variable. And that's very hard to do. But what you could do is you could take a screenshot, right? So I could go over here and I could take a screenshot, right? I like coffee, my Bruner, and maybe 3 people. I don't know what that is. Is that a dog? Oh, Bernese Mountain Dog. Yeah, so it's a dog, right? If I just so happen to see this exact same design somewhere on Amazon, I can do a research behind it through this tool, and I can figure out what is the data behind this, right? Is the data, what does it show? And I could actually view some of this data here by clicking on these different statistics, right? So the product has this label 115 products. That's another variable, right? I can go ahead and save it to my favorites if I want to take a look at it later. But more importantly, I need to see long-term statistics about this design. I need to see how long has it existed, right? I need to evaluate certain processes. And once again, to be able to move forward into a certain angle or move forward into a path of success, I'm not going to be able to compare different designs with more than one variable. I know it's going to be a little bit complicated to do, but it's very important, right? And like I said, that's why these tools are useful. It's not just for inspiration. I know the video I made earlier today mentioned just inspiration, but to me, there are many days, there are many times where I'm not as inspired. I'm lacking motivation. Yeah, the money's coming in, but it's sometimes I just, grow tired of doing the work. I'm not going to sit here and lie. A lot of the work that I do is it's a lot. It's a lot every single day. And sometimes I have to find ways to inspire myself. And the ways that I do that is I pull up something like this and I say, okay, this design maybe existed for God knows how long. We can even take a look at some of the data. But this design existed, let's just assume since, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the number is, right? If I sit here and I look at this design and I say, okay, this design makes 450 sales a month. Let's assume that this is right. Or maybe it's not right. Who cares? Then the number is irrelevant. But if I say 450 sales a month and I multiply that times $3, let's go ahead and multiply that out by $3.40. This design is making an extra $1,500 a month for its owner. That's a lot of money, especially from one design that you don't have to advertise to. Now, maybe this individual is paying for advertising. We don't know. We don't know all the details, right? And more research will show those details. But the point is, that's the inspirational aspect. I can look at this and I can say, something that this person probably took maybe 10 minutes to create, maybe less, can generate this much income. Then I get reinvigorated. I get remotivated. And that's kind of my outlook on things, is that especially in this game with print on demand, a lot of it is like this chopping game. Like if you ever cut down a tree, you're just standing there with an axe and just chop and chop and chop and chop and chop until you get, essentially you create enough of a crater in that tree, right? And then you cut the other side so that it falls in the right angle, but it's not going to happen for you. You're not going to reach the goal unless you just keep producing that effort, right? And sometimes eventually you'll get some sort of outcome that's positive. So believe it or not, like this whole print on demand thing is a lot more all about, like, I don't want to say the spirit because I'm not a tree hugger. I'm not going to say spiritual, but it's much more your willpower. Your willpower is a huge effect on your success, because it's a matter of keep going until you figure out what's different, how can you succeed, etc. So sometimes it takes a little longer for some people, and the best advice I can give is just don't give up before you quit. That's all I got to say. Don't quit and keep going, and eventually it will pay off. I bet you the guy who created this design wasn't sitting there for years, all of a sudden successful in the beginning. I can almost guarantee that. But now he has a design that's making him, at least if we're assuming that this is correct, 450 sales a month versus 42 times 30, which turns out to be like 1,500 sales a month. At least he's making $1,500 a month, assuming that this is the design. So just put that into perspective, and hopefully this video helps. I think I ranted long enough, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Like I said, every single day I'm doing double uploads for this month, the month of July, and this is just the first day. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and peace out. Bye.